Hey guys, so I wanted to do a response video from the Renew show last night, which I thought was really fun and went really great. It's morning and my voice always sounds like lower in the morning, so please don't mind that. But I wrote down some of the questions that we didn't get answered, and I wanted to make a response video rather than, typing out the answers in hopes that it will help other people as well. So let's see. First one was, what has been the most difficult post-surgery, and have you lost your urge to overeat? I'm not sure if we answered this one or not. I feel like we kind of touched on it. I've not lost the urge to overeat. In fact, that's probably my biggest struggle since surgery, is I still crave eating, and because that was my comfort for so long. So I'm working on that, and I'm aware of it, which I think is the biggest first step to changing. And then, so the most difficult since surgery, I would say, is that, and then also disappointment, as far as I put a lot of pressure on myself and I felt like the weight would just be melting off. And even though I'm losing weight and it's changing, I wouldn't consider this rapid weight loss, and I'm disappointed with that. That's the truth. So I'm constantly thinking about, what can I do differently? What am I doing wrong? What can I change? So that's something I'm working on as well. Do you find comfort in things other than food? Yes, and they're a little bit strange. I like to use my senses for comfort. So sense of smell and sense of touch are two big ones for me. So as far as like spraying on body spray, using scented lotion, lighting a candle, spraying room spray, something, some change in smell of where I'm at can sometimes bring me out of that urge to binge. And that may sound weird, but it works. Also my sense of, and bring me comfort. Sorry, I'm getting my questions confused, but it brings me comfort. I like to light candles around my house. I like to just change it up. Now, working in the medical field, we really can't wear perfumes and scented things at work, so I have to be careful as far as body spray. I have a ton of body spray from Bath and Body Works, and unfortunately it just sits on my counter, but I try to use it on the weekends and on my days off, and just kind of spray it around the room sometimes too. I also have scented shower gels that I like to use, and yeah, so that brings me comfort. The other thing that's interesting is my sense of touch, especially when I'm having a lot of anxiety, or I'm upset or stressed out. Just touching textures, so like touching the texture of the fabric and focusing on that kind of brings me to the present moment and brings me back from my my obsessive thoughts, or my sometimes I can just go crazy with the what ifs, well, what if this happened, and what if this happened, and that catastrophe thinking. So sometimes bringing that down of, feeling something that's textured can kind of bring me back a little bit. And I definitely think I should be using it even more, because that works. It works really well. And I first noticed I was doing that in therapy. Every therapist that I've seen has a couch with pillows that have some sort of texture on it, and so I'm sitting there like fondling the pillows, but it really helps me to stay present. So Mark asked about Overeaters Anonymous. I have made a couple videos talking about Overeaters Anonymous. I've been to a few meetings. The meetings that I did go to, I found were kind of strict as far as, you couldn't talk out, you couldn't give advice to people, and I didn't like that. I think support groups are great, and I think they're needed, and I've thought about starting my own at times. So the way that one was set up, and I don't know if that's just the way the leader led it or what, but I just felt like it had a negative connotation to it, and that's not where I want to be. And I know Overeaters Anonymous isn't negative. I think it goes along with the leader that was leading it, but I want positive, I want light, I want love, I want all of that. And so that's why I haven't been back to Overeaters Anonymous. Also, their meal plan is very strict and hard to follow, in my opinion. They weigh out their food. They no artificial sweeteners, no sweeteners. There's a lot of like no of these things, and I just don't think I'm at the point where I need something that extreme. And but I like the idea of spirituality being involved, but I think I'm doing that kind of in my own way. So that's how I feel. When I was at the treatment center in 2011, we had, what was it? EDA, which is Eating Disorder Anonymous. And I liked that. And that worked for all eating disorders, including the overeating and binge eating and compulsive eating. So I enjoyed those. I just haven't found a local meeting that I've gotten that same feeling from. Do you do any work on why you binge? Any advice on how to avoid binges, and how do you deal with those urges now? So I certainly can't binge like I used to, and I'm thankful for that. But I do find myself using food in a negative way, in my opinion. So eating a meal and then an hour later having another little snack. I consider that snacking, not binging, but it's not ideal and not what I want to be doing. So I'm trying to check myself with that and catch myself. As far as the why I binge, I think I touched on that in the show, was what's really bothering me. You know, generally it's something that deep down is bothering me more, that's wanting me to escape and calm myself down. And I used food, my whole life pretty much to do that. And so I think being aware of the reason you're wanting to binge is, again, like the first step to changing it. And that awareness has really helped me. And I get a lot of compliments on how self-aware I am, because I'm really, really trying to change. And that's my goal. And it doesn't happen overnight. And it's been a continuing slow process, but I am changing, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. And I'm proud of myself for that. So as far as I think we all have to go deep within ourselves and ask ourselves that question: why do you binge? You know, what does your gut tell you? And once we have that, once we know a little bit more about it, I think that's how I think it's easier to change it after that. So, when you binge, do you know you're binging? I think I know afterwards. Sometimes I'll just think, oh, I'm so hungry. But yet it's not real hunger. It's that, I think, what they call head hunger, as far as I'm having that urge to eat because I'm feeling lonely or sad or tired or, whatever feeling. I seem to want to associate all my feelings with food, even happy feelings. So what distinguishes a binge eater from an overeater or a compulsive eater? I think that's different for everybody. I consider myself a compulsive eater or food addict. I think they're kind of the same for me, because I was so willing to put that before other things. So at my stressful times, I actually wanted to just go to fast food and get all this food and go home and close the curtains and just have my little affair with the food. And I was hoping that my family member wouldn't call, or I was hoping that a friend wouldn't call, because I didn't want to be interrupted, because this was more important to me. And that tells me that it was a problem. Also, spending money that I really didn't have. Using my last quarters to buy something off the dollar menu on McDonald's because I had to have it. That is a problem in my eyes. I think binge eater is more of eating normal most of the time, and then having a time where you just way overdo it, and then you think, wow, like, how did that happen? What just happened? I found myself doing that in my 20s with drinking alcohol. I wasn't much of a drinker, but then if I went out to the bar with a friend, we did a bridal shower party thing, and I hadn't drank in a long time and went out and had too many drinks, and suddenly I blacked out and woke up and there were, pictures. All right, sorry, my memory card was full, so I had to delete something. But anyway, so I was talking about binge drinking, and we were at a bridal shower and blacked out, woke up, and we had taken a bunch of pictures that I don't recall taking, and I was throwing up, and it was just like, what did I do? And so I had to make the decision, this is a problem and I need to change it. So I would say if you are finding that where you're eating a very large amount of food and you get sick from it and you have regrets about it afterwards, you got to ask yourself, why did this happen? What's going on with me? And, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean there's different levels of compulsive eating and food addiction and binge eating. You could just be on the lower end of binge eating, but you don't want to let it snowball and get worse. You want to deal with why that's happening. Did you have any friends or family try to talk you out of weight loss surgery? Yeah, I don't think they tried really hard to talk me out of it or really give me any major grief about it. My aunt didn't really want me to do it. She kind of said that, yes, I'll support you, but I could tell she wasn't happy about it. But since I've had it, she's told me that she has seen such a difference and such a change, and she acknowledges now that this is what I needed to change my life and give me that extra boost. And so she's happy I did it now, but she wasn't really wanting me to do it then. And my dad wasn't really wanting me to do it either, which I talked about in the show. But they've, now that it's done and they're seeing me change, they're happy with that. So I can't think of anybody else that really tried to talk me out of it. I mean, I've been wanting to do it for so long that, so. Can food addiction be self-diagnosed without talking to a professional about it? And this is the last question. So this is a big one, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to make a response video, because it's a bit controversial that being morbidly obese could be diagnosed as an eating disorder. I don't see why it's so controversial, but it is. Everybody's different. Everybody has to trust their own gut. I was told by many doctors to just go on a diet and treated like you're just not strong enough. You just have lack of willpower. And it took the one that finally believed in me and finally said, you're not crazy. This is considered an eating disorder. And once I had someone say to me, I believe in you and you're not crazy, you're not a weak person. This is what you have. Just like an alcoholic is not a bad person for being a drinker, it's a medical issue. I have that sensitivity and am drawn to using food to deal with my emotions. And I think once we can accept that, self-acceptance, it's gonna change our lives. It changed mine for sure. And you don't need a professional to tell you that. And you might have a professional that doesn't believe you. Doesn't mean they're right. Plenty of medical professionals disagree on things, and you've got to trust yourself. I mean, I had a therapist that I met. Her name was Jen. Jen is who I worked with in 2010 that changed my life. But before that, I had met with a woman that was a therapist and tried to tell me I should go on Weight Watchers, and I can check in with her each week. And if I just lose 2 pounds a week, that's 50 pounds a year or whatever, you know. And I was just, I felt so devalued. And, you know, we all want to be heard. That's the truth, in my opinion. We all want that validation. And if you don't get it from one person, you got to look for the right person. But I don't think you need a professional to change your life. It helps, but you can also do it yourself. I mean, there's so many books out there that can help you with this. I've talked about them in my past videos, and I can do another video talking about all the books that have helped me and that I continue to read and have helped me. And you got to make a commitment to yourself. And I've even wanted to do this. I'm hoping once I get through this move that I can really do this for myself, is kind of making up my own class to work on myself and my issues and bettering myself. So most of these self-help books have like a 4 to 6 week program. If you sit down and spend an hour or two a night and really work this program, it's like taking a little class. There's also webinars, which are seminars online, and a lot of them are free. Take notes, watch DVDs, listen to podcasts, listen to YouTube videos. I mean, there's so much information out there, and it's not just a therapist. I mean, I see my therapist once a week. Sometimes I think I need twice a week, and we might work towards that maybe, but I also do so much on my own, and I've thought about getting a life coach. That's another thing that I think would really help, and can help anybody. The other thing you can do if you don't have a budget to afford a life coach is a life coach might be willing to exchange their services for, you know, kind of to use you as maybe like their practice, or if you'd be willing to write a review about their service, or try it for 4 to 6 weeks and then see if it's within your budget after that. I mean, I think people are willing to bend and use a pay scale, and it doesn't have to be all or nothing. I know there are tools out there, and if you really meditate about it, focus on it, think about it, I think that the answers are there and the tools are there. I hate to see that because of money that people are not getting the help that they need. So I hope that makes sense. I hope it doesn't get too, like, I hope I'm not rambling too much or get like kind of woo, you know, hippy dippy on you. But yeah, so I think that the tools are out there, and we have to work hard. We have to work hard to change ourselves and change our life, just like Rob says, and we can do it. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. I had a blast doing this experience, having this experience, and doing the Renew show, and I can't wait to see next week. And yeah, so I'll talk to you guys soon. If you have any other questions for me, please leave a comment below. Or you can send me a message on YouTube, and I will do my best to respond. So talk to you later. Bye.